Goosebumps are useless. Completely, totally useless. Your body knows this. It does it anyway. Every single time. And the reason why tells you something deeply strange about what you actually are. Tiny muscles called erector pili are attached to the base of every single hair on your body. When they contract, they pull the hair upright, and the skin around each hair puckers slightly. That puckering is what you see. That is a goosebump. Your body does this automatically. You cannot stop it. You cannot start it on command. It just happens. To understand why, you need to go back about 6 million years. That is roughly when the evolutionary line that would eventually become you split from the line that would become chimpanzees. At that point, your ancestors were covered in thick body hair, dense, full body fur. When a hairy animal gets cold, its erector pili fire. Every hair stands up, and the layer of air trapped between those upright hairs
acts as insulation, a natural blanket made of nothing but air and fur. When a hairy animal is frightened, the same muscles fire. Every hair stands up. The animal looks bigger. A cat doing this can appear almost twice its actual size. A threatened animal looks like a threat. Two functions, one mechanism, both solved by the same tiny muscle doing the same simple thing. About 1.5 to 2 million years ago, your ancestors started losing their fur. When early humans moved onto open savannas, they needed to run long distances under direct sun. Fur that kept you warm at night was overheating you during the day. Sweat works dramatically better on bare skin. So over hundreds of thousands of generations, the fur thinned out and then was mostly gone. But the erector pili stayed, every single one of them. Still firing when you were cold, still firing when you were scared, pulling up hairs that are no longer there. Your body is running a program written for a creature that no longer exists, and it cannot stop because nobody told it to. Cold and fear make sense. Those are old triggers, but you also get goosebumps from music, from a piece of art that hits exactly right, from a moment of unexpected beauty.
None of those things require insulation. None of them make you look bigger to a predator. The answer starts with a neurotransmitter called dopamine. Dopamine is released during moments of intense reward, food, sex, survival, but also during certain kinds of music. Specifically, at the moment a piece of music does something unexpected, a key change you did not see coming, a note held longer than you expected, a harmony that resolves in a way that makes something in your chest physically move. Your brain is treating a piece of music the same way it treats survival, because the same neural pathway that processes emotional arousal also triggers the erector pili. The goosebump reflex is wired directly into your autonomic nervous system. Your body cannot tell the difference between being cold, being threatened, and being moved by something beautiful. All three feel the same to the part of your nervous system that controls your skin. When dopamine floods your system during a powerful emotional experience, your autonomic nervous system interprets it as high arousal. Not everyone gets musical goosebumps. Studies suggest that somewhere between 55 and 86% of people experience them regularly from music. Researchers have found a structural difference in the brains of people who do. People who get goosebumps from music have more nerve fibers connecting their auditory cortex to their medial prefrontal cortex. More connections, more overlap between sound and feeling, more highway between what you hear and what you feel. If you are someone who gets chills from music, your brain is literally wired different.
Whether that is better or worse is not the point. Something as small and involuntary as a goosebump is actually a window into how your brain is built. And then there is the third trigger. You get goosebumps from witnessing human greatness, from standing in a building so large and old that your own existence suddenly feels both tiny and somehow more significant. Researchers call this elevation, and elevation produces goosebumps in almost everyone who experiences it. Not just the people with the extra neural connections, almost everyone. The theory is that elevation evolved as a social signal, a way of saying to the people around you, pay attention. Something important is happening here. Your skin responding to human greatness the same way it responds to cold and fear. The same tiny muscles, the same involuntary firing, but pointing at something completely different. You are carrying a reflex that is
6 million years old. A piece of biological code written for an animal that has not existed for over 1 million years, running on hardware that was never updated. And somehow, that ancient reflex got repurposed. It no longer keeps you warm. It no longer makes you look bigger, but it still fires. Every time you hear the right song, every time you witness something that reminds you what humans are capable of, every time the world briefly becomes more than you expected it to be, your body still cannot tell the difference between cold and beauty, between fear and awe, between the threat of a predator and the sound of a perfect chord. They all feel the same to your skin. If it was cold, that is a 6 million-year-old system doing exactly what it was designed to do. Failing completely because you have no fur, but trying anyway. If it was a song, that is your auditory cortex and your emotional cortex talking to each other across a bridge that not everyone has. More connections, more overlap, more highway between what you hear and what you feel. If it was something that made you feel small and significant at the same time, that is evolution's way of telling you to pay attention. That whatever just happened is worth remembering. Your body has been wrong about a lot of things since the fur went away. It has been wrong about a lot of things since the fur went away, but it has never been wrong about that. The next time you feel goosebumps, notice what caused them. Your body has been running this program for 6 million years, and it has never once stopped trying.